My wife took me to an antique store and I bought 3 items for, believe it or not, a fair price. If you ever go to an antique store looking for tools, you know how absolutely ridiculous they price things. It's because women buy them for decoration, and so they give them the decoration price instead of the tool price. But these were actually cheap. This is 15 bucks. Stanley block plane with everything, all the parts, nothing missing, which is great. This brace, which was 8 bucks, and this little hammer, I liked it when I seen it, for 4 bucks. So actually not bad pricing for an antique store. Alright, let's leave that set. Come back in a few hours. Nice, look at that. Okay. This one's too bad. Still wood chips in there. Cool. That vinegar worked. It's really good. It's cool. That is nuts. Look at that. Awesome. Let's try to get this piece out. I don't want to damage it. This is in such good condition besides all the rust. It worked. Look at that. This thing's going to be in perfect condition once this is all done. You know, every time I buy something like this, it kind of depresses me because, you know, like with this, it wasn't used that heavily. So, you know, someone's grandpa bought this, someone's dad bought this, used it a little bit, and then unfortunately passed away, got sick, something happened. Maybe financial things, I don't know. And then some person ended up with it at some yard sale, some estate sale, after it's sat in a garage for 10 years or whatever, and now it's rusted and they think it's garbage. And it's not garbage, man. It was bought for a reason. It kind of feels nice to give it life once again. You know, and I don't know who owned this. I don't know who bought it. I don't know for what purpose they had. What were they, cabinet maker? Were they trying to fix things around their house? You know, I don't know. But it makes you think. It's kind of sad, and you know, this is just junk to somebody, and it was something somebody went out to specifically get to help them, and now it's just junk to somebody, to some antique store. Just rusted junk. Makes you think, is all my stuff gonna just be junk eventually? The stuff I care about, the stuff I like, stuff that makes my life easier. Is it all just gonna be junk one day? It's all gonna be rusted, sitting on a dirty shelf among a bunch of other stuff. Marked $10, $8. And then does this translate into my behaviors, my actions? Does this translate into my actions and how I affect the world today? One day is all those things I've done, all those things I've built, and all those relationships and all that reconciliation I assisted with, or all the happiness I provided, is that just going to be junk one day? I don't think so. I think everything you do does have a butterfly effect of some sort, unlike material possessions. But it gets you thinking. Really gets you thinking. Just trying to get as much lubricant on the interior of this mechanism as I can, so that the water that was in there can hopefully get displaced and doesn't cause any more rust on the inside. All right. Just to clarify, this is not a restoration video. I'm not making these shiny, beautiful museum piece, right? I'm not making that. This is going to be used. And so the whole point of this is you can go buy a rusted piece of junk and turn it right back into a functional tool. No. So there you go. Started from a rusty antique store purchase, and then now it's a functional tool. The only thing I got to do to this is get a razor sharp edge on this. I'm not going to do that in this video. We're going to move on to the brace. This one doesn't need really much work at all. The only thing that's stiff is this, and I've already oiled this up and got it nice and clean. And this is smooth. So let's get a little oil in here. See if we can start working it down in there, wherever it is. And then if that don't work, we'll actually take it off. There we go, baby. Oh, boys. Look at this. What did I say this was? $8, $10? I can't remember. I mean, come on. It's made to last. Look at that. It's supposed to have a spring in it. Some of them do in the middle. That's keep it spread apart. As you can see, it'll open up. You just gotta shove your bit in between. With a spring, it keeps it open. So I may have to explore that. I have some small spring steel, so I may make one. But for right now, that's good enough. Let's test it out with a bit. So I don't have an actual drill for these. At the end of them, there's like this weird triangle shape that this grabs a hold of. But for demonstration purposes, we'll go ahead and use a modern day drill bit. Look at that, boys. Well, that was easy. It's just gonna be a strut shaft, and then maybe a little bulge down here, a little handle, and then maybe a little shoulder up here. Did I put this? Is the shoulder on the wrong side? Hang on. It is. See the curve here? Curve's supposed to be forward. The shoulder's on this side. But my hole's really small, so I got plenty to work with, so I'll cut that off and we'll just make a round shoulder here, like with an axe. All right. Okay. You see, back in the day, I'd be doing this all traditionally with a spoke shave or a little draw knife or something, but boys, I don't have that amount of time anymore, okay? Power tools are your friend when you're married with children and bills and responsibilities. If you look, we still got a lot of material to remove now. And we're gonna go to about that little bit of shoulder I made. It's about right there. Let's do both sides. Just so got a little bit of a reference on all sides. And so now we're just gonna start working it. If you notice, I'm tapering it up into an angle this way. So I'm gonna meet the line at the very top before I even get close down in here. And the reason for that is because if I can meet the line up here and it'll fit, then as I test fit it, we're gonna be able to get these scratch marks from the head. And then I'll just slowly work it down till we get a nice snug fit. You'll see what I'm talking about. You can see the marks now that the hole is making, and there's a little shoulder that's getting created when I push it down. And so now we know we can start at the shoulder and work it back a little bit. Now I'm gonna start slowing down because this is gonna matter a little bit more. I'm not gonna use this so much anymore. Hi, babe, go swing. think that's pretty good. Sitting right there on the shoulder, real nice. What we'll do is we'll take this back off, we'll sand it real nice and smooth, and I'm gonna make out a little bit more gradual of a shoulder this way, so it'll snug up a little bit better. But that's, I mean, that's fine the way it is. Nice, straight, good and straight. Cut that off, cool. All right. Am I too close? No. Evie, where you at? Get down. Get over here. Don't climb up on that. Mm-hmm. You can go ahead and go inside, baby, and hang out with your mom and your sister. I got a wood wedge in there and a steel wedge. And there we go. Not bad. We're done. Like I said, you can go to an antique store, spend 20 some bucks, a few hours of your time, and you have 3 fully functional, good quality tools. Until you die and then they rust and somebody puts them on a shelf again.